Good. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well this beautiful Saturday morning. My name is Jareba Trailer, and my pronouns are she and her. And I'm happy to be guiding you on a 60 to 75-minute Vinyasa flow this morning. So, how are you all doing? Is everyone feeling good? Everyone feeling okay this Saturday morning? Yes, no, maybe so. Michaela?
I'm feeling good.
Good. All right. Well, a few of our regulars are out this morning, but we will go ahead and get to going. So, today we're going to continue on the theme that we had on Thursday, which is be the mountain. That is what our flow will be today. Basically, what that is on Meditation Monday, we actually did a guided meditation titled Be the Mountain. And so that guided meditation was about being unwavering, being strong, being powerful, being the peace, being the presence of peace and serenity and solace, no matter what is going on around you. If you're in the midst of beauty and joy, or if you're in the midst of a storm and chaos, always being that stable, present force and maintaining your faith and your belief and your trust, and that all things are possible, believing in the potential, and always being the embodiment of peace. So, that is what we are going to practice today on the mat in our flow. And so, a lot of the poses will be in the root chakra, which the root chakra is just your base. It's about protection, it's about being stable and grounded and balanced. So, we will be doing a lot of postures that really tap into the root chakra. And then we will move into a moon salutation that embraces the divine feminine, embraces that calm, still energy, the energy that provides us with balance in our life. So that will be today's practice. Of course, this is your practice, this is your time on the mat. So you do that which serves you. Everything that I offer are invitations, they are not things that you have to do. So with an invitation, you can accept it or decline it. So anything that I offer, if it doesn't serve your body, don't do it. And of course, I will offer various options and possibilities. And so please feel free to take that which feels good to you. Also, if you have some blocks, I would invite you to have those handy as we will be moving through some postures where that may be beneficial to bring the floor up to you um, in that particular posture. So, if there are not any questions, then we are ready to move into our flow. So I invite you to find a comfortable position, something that feels right in your body. That may be Shavasana, just lying back on the mat with your legs wide, your arms to your side, maybe a pillow underneath your head. That may be easy seat, a supine bound angle, whatever feels good to your body, whatever is calling your name. Find that position now as we move into our flow. And then our first posture, once we begin flowing, will be child's pose. So if you would like to go into child's pose, feel free to do that now. So I'll allow you the moment to settle into your position. And then I am going to read an excerpt from the guided meditation, Be the Mountain. So bring your awareness to the sensations of your breath and the gentle rhythm it is creating within you, letting it be just as it is. each inhale and exhale announcing the next. Expand your awareness to the sensations of your body. Bring your attention to the surface beneath you and the support it provides. Root your body into its strength and become aware of your connection to it. Complete, whole, and in this moment, you are grounded by its unwavering resolve. As you sit there, visualize a grand mountain whose peaks pierce smoky clouds and continue upward where the air is clear and the view is endless. A mountain with slopes that are both jagged and gentle, supported by a vast foundation rooted deep in the bedrock of the earth. This mountain is a monument to all that is solid, grand, unmoving, and beautiful. Are there trees? The snow blanket its lofty heights. Perhaps there are waterfalls cascading as mist into an open sky. However, it is, let it be as it is, a perfect creation. Be this mountain and share in its stillness. Grounded in your posture, your head its skyward peak, supported by the rest of your form, granting you an awe inspiring perspective of the landscape before you, behind you, and about you, which flows from your center into the distant horizon. Be this mountain and take on its stability as your own, from the top of your crown, down your neck, and into the balance of your shoulders, like cliffs, descending into your arms and forearms, and coming to rest in the valley of your hands. Be the mountain. Your feet, legs, and hips its base, solid and rooted beneath you, a foundation, extending up your spine and abdomen, a core of stability. The rhythm of your breath is all that moves you, a living mountain, alive and aware, yet unwavering in inner stillness, completely what you are, beyond words and thought, a centered, grounded, unmovable presence. A mountain which witnesses the sun travel across the sky, casting light and shadows and colors across its consistent composure. Moment by moment, in the mountain stillness, the surface teems with life and activity. Snows melt, streams run down its face, trees and flowers bloom and die and bloom again as the wildlife returns and departs with the seasons. Be the mountain, who will be called beautiful and inspiring and dark and ominous, and knows that it is all of those things and less. Be the mountain, which sits and sees how night follows day and back again, which knows the sun by the warmth it brings on rising, and the stars by the way they show in a darkened sky. Through it all, the mountain sits, aware of the changes that each moment brings around it and to it. Yet it remains itself, still as the seasons flow one into the other, and the air swirls from hot and cold, and the weather turns from tame to turbulent, some so treacherous as to tear at its surface. Still, none of this concerns the mountain, whose serenity is housed within and cannot be disturbed by fleeting fear. As you sit here in this moment on your mat, as you tap into your inhale and your exhale, as we move through this flow, I would invite you to learn to experience the mountain as a means to embody the same centered, unwavering stillness and groundedness in the face of all that changes in your life. Be the mountain. So, as you begin to return to this moment, remembering that your inhale and exhale is always there, it is your friend to bring you back to calm, to stillness, to balance. Let's begin to flow and cultivate the inner knowing of being the mountain. So I invite you to join me on the mat in a child's pose. So in your child's pose, your big toes come together. Your knees can be out wide or they can be directly underneath you, whatever feels most comfortable to your body. And you'll begin to sit back towards your heels, bringing your body down to the mat and letting your forehead rest on the mat. Now, if you would like to bring the mat up to you, you can always use a bolster or place a block underneath your forehead. Those are all options. As well, you can have your arms directly in front of you, just letting them rest leisurely on the mat, or you can have them lying beside you. Whatever feels good to you at this moment, take that posture now and allow yourself to sink into Mother Earth. Allow her to cradle you. Allow her to provide you with comfort as we move into this Saturday morning. Remember your inhale and your exhale. And from here, I would invite you to push down into those palms, activating those arms so they no longer are there on your mat leisurely, but they are outstretched and they are lifted. So that means that your elbows will be off the mat and they are engaged and you can feel the tension in your arms. From here, we're going to walk our hands over to the top left or to the top right corner of our mat. So that means that your right palm may rest on the edge of your mat or even off of your mat. And you'll bring your left palm to rest on top of your right hand. So that means that you are doing a stretch to the right, and you should be able to feel that stretch in your left side body. You want to make sure that your left shoulder is dropped, that you have not opened it up when placing that left hand on top of the right. Those arms are still activated, they are lifted, they are engaged. From here, you can release, walking your hands back through center, and then move over to the left top corner of your mat, placing that left hand on the earth, and then resting that right hand on top of that left. Again, making sure that that right shoulder is dropped, it is even with that left, so that you can feel the stretch in your right side body. From here, you can walk your hands back into center, push down into that left palm, and inhale your right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, tucking it through underneath your left arm to come and to thread the needle. So when you have tucked your right arm through, you should be looking underneath your left arm to the left. You should be on the left or right side of your head. Now your entire head may not be resting on the mat, and that's okay. Also, your right shoulder may not be resting on the mat, and that's okay. The main thing is to provide this shoulder stretch to your body. From here, push into that left palm, inhaling your right arm up to the sky, and exhale it down in front of you. So now we're going to push down into that right palm, inhaling our left arm up to the sky, and exhale, threading it through, dropping to the left side of our head. Push back through that right palm, shooting that left arm up to the sky with your inhale, and exhale that left arm down in front of you. From here, I invite you to bring your arms beside you, resting your palms on each one of your heels. So your right palm will be wrapping around your right heel. Your left palm or hand will be wrapping around your left heel. So from here, if you do have a block, you probably want our bolster, you need to remove it. But we're going to move into rabbit. So with rabbit, you want to bring, so that may need you to tuck your head in a little bit, but you want to bring your head in as close as possible to your knees as you can. And then you want to begin to lift your butt off of your heels, bringing your head to its crown on the mat. So you're lifting your butt up to the air and coming onto the top of your head on your mat. So this should provide a stretch in your back as well as your neck. You can hold onto your heels. If that's not working for you, move to your ankles or another part of your leg. You do not want to press into the top of your head. You want to be lightly resting on the mat so that you're not compressing your neck. From here, release back down into your child's pose with your arms to your side. And from here, we'll bring our arms forward, resting on our forearms. They can either be out at a number 11, or you can have your hands in together, maybe interlaced. But from here, kind of lift your hips up like you're about to move into puppy. And I want you to keep those big toes together, but I want you to bring those knees out wide, extremely wide. So beyond what you had for child's pose, we're moving into a variation of frog. So your knees probably will be off of the mat. This is a great hip opener, preparing us for our malasana squat. So get those knees out as wide as possible. And then move yourself onto your forearms, resting on your forearms, and begin to push yourself back. So push that tail back towards your heels so that you feel that stretch in the inner parts of those thighs and those hips. Beginning to open up those hips, preparing us for our flow. From here, you can release out of your frog and push yourself up into a neutral tabletop position. So in your tabletop, your body is making just that, a table. So your shoulders are over your wrist, your hips are over your knees, your back is flat, your neck is long, your gaze is down. Your hands are rooted firmly into the mat, your fingers are spread wide. You can have your toes tucked, or they can be untucked, whatever feels most comfortable to you. From here, we're going to inhale, dropping our belly down to the mat, bringing our gaze and our tailbone up to the sky for cow. We will then exhale, rising the back of our chest, or excuse me, our back up to the sky, tucking in our tailbone and our chin for cat. So that heart is lifted up, the back of that heart is lifted up to the sky. Inhale, dropping into your cow. So you're arching in that back, bringing that gaze out and up. And then you're exhaling, tucking in the tail, pushing through those palms, shooting that back up to the sky. One more time, dropping down into your cow as your inhale. And exhaling, moving into your scared Halloween cat. From here, come back into your neutral tabletop, and then bring your hands out in front of you like you're moving into a kneeling side plank. Or excuse me, not side plank. That would be pretty interesting, a kneeling plank. So this is like if you were doing kneeling push-ups. This would be the position you would be in at the top of that kneeling push-up. So from here, we're going to do body circles. We'll do 3 clockwise, and then we'll move 2 counterclockwise. So you're at the top of your mat. You're going to roll over to the right side, shoot your hips back, and then come over to the left, coming back to the top in that kneeling push-up. Roll to the right, sit back, come over to the left, top of the mat. One more time, move to the right, sit back, come over to the left, top of the mat. Now we're going to reverse. So come to your left, push yourself back, roll over to the right, top of your mat. Left, back, right, top. One more time. Left, back, right, top. From here in that kneeling push-up, I want you to push yourself back, coming all the way down into a version of child's pose with your feet out wide. Then push yourself back up into that kneeling push-up. One more time, sit yourself all the way back. And then bring yourself forward. One final time, push yourself back. And bring yourself forward. From here, return back into your neutral tabletop, tucking your toes, and push your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Now, this is your first downward facing dog of our practice, of our flow. So I invite you to find any organic movement that will allow you to settle into your downward facing dog. That may be cuddling out the heels, coming up onto your toes, rolling up and down onto your toes, bending in your knees, doing whatever feels good to you so that you can eventually settle into a downward facing dog where your torso is moving back towards your thighs. Your hands are rooted deeply into the mat, fingers stretched out wide, every part of your hand pressing firmly into the mat. The eyes of your elbows are moving towards the top of your mat, shoulders are broad, moving away from your ears. Your gaze is down to the back of your mat. And your heels, the energy of your heels is moving towards the mat. Now your heels may not be on the mat, but that energy, that engagement is moving down to the mat. From here, bend in your knees and begin to slowly walk your hands to the top of the mat to meet your hands, or that's the hands, your feet to the top of the mat, to meet your hands at the top of the mat. It's a Saturday morning, forgive me. So from here, you will be in your forward fold. So in this first forward fold of our practice, you can heel toe your feet out wide and drop yourself, bending in your knees to really just release into this forward fold, letting everything go. So let the neck be long, let the head be heavy. Allow the hands to just drop to the earth and let it all go. If you would like, you can even bring your hands to opposite elbows, move into a ragdoll, rocking side to side, releasing this forward fold. From here, release down, heel toe your feet back underneath you. And we're going to inhale into our halfway lift, making a number 7 with our body, back flat, gaze out about 2 to 3 feet. Neck is long. Your shoulders are moved away from your ears, down your spine. Exhale into your forward fold. Bending your knees and slowly begin to lift yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae, into your Tadasana or mountain pose. When you arrive in your mountain pose, you are going to be activated from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. That means you are engaged, you are solid, you are stable, you are connected to Mother Earth. Your hands will be to your side, your gaze will be out. And sit here for a moment, connecting and grounding, tapping into your breath, which is your life-giving energy. Taking the moment to be the mountain. From here, you will inhale your arms up to the sky for high mountain. You will interlace or wrap your right fingers around your left wrist with your exhale. You will inhale, growing tall in the spine and long. And then you will exhale, leaning over to the right. Do not collapse into your right body like this, but stay long in both sides, experiencing that stretch in your left side body. From here, inhale into center, exhale, releasing into high mountain. And then we will fold over our legs into our forward fold. We will inhale up into halfway lift. Exhale into forward fold. Slowly lift up, vertebrae by vertebrae, into our mountain. Standing tall in that mountain. We will inhale our arms up for high mountain. Interlace our left fingers around our right wrist. Grow tall in the spine, and then exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center, releasing everything into your high mountain. And then exhale, folding over those legs into your forward fold. Inhale into your halfway lift, that number 7 with your body. Exhale into forward fold. Again, slowly roll up into your mountain. Your head will be the last thing to arrive. Once you have moved into your mountain pose, we are now going to move into some balancing. So I invite you to move into tree. There are a couple of options for your tree. You can kickstand your left foot up to the side so that basically your heel comes a little bit above your ankle and your toes rest on the earth to provide you with some stability in your tree. Another option is for you to place a block next to your right foot and place your left foot on that black block. Again, resting that left heel on your right leg for a variation. The other options are for you to bring that left foot to your right calf, or you can bring it up to your right thigh. Most important thing is that you don't want that left foot resting on your knee. From here, find a point out in the distance to focus on, which is your drishti, which allows you and helps you in your balance. And you can place your hands, your arms wherever you would like. You can bring them to heart center, resting your thumbs on your sternum. You can have your arms beside you. You can have them up to the sky. You can even wave your branches. Whatever is calling your name, do that now. And we will remain in our tree for a few more breaths. So from here, begin to release that left foot down to the earth, coming back into your mountain pose. Inhale your arms up to the sky for high mountain. Exhale, folding down into your forward fold. Inhale up to halfway lift. Exhale down to forward fold. Slowly roll up, coming back into your mountain. From here, you're going to plant your left foot solidly into the earth, basically suction cupping it into the earth, engaging that bandha in that left foot. And then you will begin to lift that right, either kickstand on a block, on your calf, or up to your thigh for a tree on your left leg. Again, find that drishti. That's what's going to help you balance. But embrace the wobbles, embrace the falls. That's part of being the mountain. Your hands can be at heart center. They can be lifted up to the sky. You can even wave your branches. Do whatever is calling your name right now. And we will hold here in our tree. And exhale, releasing that foot down to the mat for your mountain. Inhale, arms up to the sky for high mountain. Exhale, folding over the legs for your forward fold. Clench your hands into the mat. Step your feet back, either coming into your high plank or dropping down into your tabletop. If you're in your high plank, you're in the top of a push-up. Your hips are aligned with the rest of your body. If you are in the high plank, you will shift forward onto your tippy toes, and then we will all lower down, bring our belly down to the mat. Once you've moved to the mat, untuck your toes and bring your your elbows underneath your shoulders. Arms will be out, making a number 11. So from here, just like everything else, you want to spread your fingers out wide, plant all parts of your hand into the earth, push down on the tops of your feet, pressing your pelvis into the floor, and pull yourself forward, bring your heart out and up into Sphinx. So you're engaged in your core. Your heart is opening to the front of the room. Really utilize those hands and those forearms to pull your chest forward. From here, release yourself down to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck in your toes and push up to your high plank or tabletop, back into your downward facing dog. From here, bring your gaze forward, bending your knees, and hop, step, or float to the top of your mat for a forward fold. Once you're in your forward fold, you are going to heel toe your feet out to the edges of your mat. Your heels will be turned in, your toes will be turned out. This is a great time, if you would like, to grab your blocks. You may want one, you may want two. You're going to place your blocks on the mat where your bum, your butt would fall, because we're going to sit down, moving our tail to the mat in our yogi squat or malasana. So you have the option to sit down on your blocks, or you have the option to sit in your squat. So from here, that's really what you're going to do. Begin to bend in the knees, bringing your tailbone down to the mat or to your blocks for yogi squat. Once you've arrived, perhaps make any adjustments to your blocks, make adjustments to your feet. You may have to widen your stance a little bit or bring your feet in. But the most important thing is your tailbone is moving down to the mat, your back is straight, your heart is opening up to the front of the room. Your backs of your arms are resting against your legs, and your hands are at heart center. From here, drop your your left hand down to the mat. Lift your right arm up to the sky for a twist to the right. Bring your hands back to heart center. And from here, we're going to lift ourselves up. So push down into the soles of your feet. Engage using your core, those leg muscles, to push yourself up into mountain with hands at heart center. Take a moment. This is a big move, so we want to make sure that we're steady and we're solid once we arrive. Moving from the ground up very quickly can result in you being lightheaded, so we want to make sure you feel okay. So from here, inhale your arms up to the sky, and then exhale, twisting open to the right. So that means your right arm falls back, your left arm comes forward, your hips remain forward, so they are facing the top of your mat. Your right hip is not shifted back, they are parallel and neutral. From here, inhale your arms to the sky for high mountain. Bring your hands together and exhale them down to hands at heart center. From here, begin to bend in your knees and slowly sit yourself back down into your malasana squat. Again, if you have blocks, resting your bum on those blocks. This time we're going to plant that right hand down on the earth or your mat, and then you're going to lift that left arm up to the sky, twisting open to the left. Now this is not a gigantic twist. Your chest is moving over to the left, your heart is opening over to the left, your gaze should follow your left hand up to the sky. From here, come back into center, hands at heart center. Press down those feet, engage in those legs, push yourself up into mountain with hands at heart center. Steady yourself. Inhale your arms up into high mountain. And then exhale, twisting over to the left. Right arm behind you, left arm to the front. Excuse me, I'm backwards. Left arm behind you, right arm to the front. Inhale yourself back up to high mountain. And from here in your high mountain, you want to heel toe your feet back underneath you so that you can exhale down into a forward fold with those feet directly underneath you. Plant those hands on the mat and step your left foot back into a low runner's lunge. Plant that left hand beside that right foot and inhale your right arm up to the sky for a twist to the right. Exhale that right hand down to the mat to frame that front foot. Drop that back knee down to the mat. Untuck those back toes and inhale yourself up into low crescent lunge. From here, interlace those right fingers around that left wrist. Inhale yourself up, growing tall, and exhale yourself leaning over to the right. Inhale, releasing that grasp back into center in your low crescent lunge. Exhale, twisting open to the right. So same thing we were doing standing, we are now doing in our lunge. Inhale, arms back up to the sky. Exhale, hands down to frame that front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee off of the mat. Plant the left hand into the mat and inhale the right arm up to the sky for a twist to the right again. This time, you are going to step that right foot back to come into a side plank. So you have options. Your feet can be stacked right on top of left. They can be staggered with the right foot in front of the left, or you can drop that left knee to the mat for a kneeling side plank. Another option, if you're feeling frisky, is to come into tree. So bring that right foot to rest on your left leg. From here, drop that right hand down to the mat, coming into your high plank or tabletop, and move through your version of Vinyasa or not, and push back into downward facing dog. So Vinyasas are always optional. You do not have to do them. Vinyasa is typically dropping down to half push-up chaturanga all the way down to the mat. Moving into your back bend of choice, baby cobra, cobra, upward facing dog. Upward facing dog, the only thing touching the mat are your palms and the tops of your feet. And then pushing back into downward facing dog. Now you don't have to do any of that. You can come straight back to downward facing dog. You can move into tabletop. You can move into child's pose. So from here, gaze forward, bend in the knees, hop, step, or float to the top of the mat in your forward fold. Step that right foot back, coming into your low runner's lunge. Plant that right hand down and inhale the left arm for a twist to the left. Exhale that left hand down, framing that front foot, drop the back knee, untuck the back toes, And inhale yourself up into low crescent lunge. In your low crescent lunge, you always want to make sure that that front knee that's bent, that knee is either stacked on top of the ankle or it's behind it. You never want to be over it so that your knee is tracking over your toes versus your ankle. From here, wrap your left fingers around your right wrist. Inhale up, exhaling over to the left. Come back through center, releasing those hands, arms lifted up to the sky. And exhale, twisting open to the left. Inhale yourself back through center, arms lifted up to the sky. And exhale, your hands down to the mat to frame that front foot. Tuck in those back toes. Lift that back knee off of the mat. Root that right hand into the mat. And inhale your left arm up to the sky for a twist. From here, you can begin to send that left foot back for a stacked side plank, a staggered side plank, or a kneeling side plank, or even maybe a side plank in tree. From here, lower that left hand down to the mat, come into your high plank or tabletop, and move through whatever you want to move through, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. So from here, gaze forward, bend in the knees, hop, step, or float to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat, step your left foot back, coming into a low runner's lunge. Begin to walk your hands to the left side of your mat, coming into a wide leg forward fold. So from here, in your wide-legged forward fold, you are facing the left side of your mat. Your feet are parallel to the top and back of your mat, and your hands probably are resting on the earth in front of you. From here, we're going to do some twists. So bring your left palm or your left hand to rest directly under your face. Plant it solidly on the earth. And from here, you're going to inhale your right arm up to the sky for a twist to the right. Exhale that right hand down. Exchange it for your left. And then inhale your left arm up to the sky for a twist to the left. Exhale that left hand down to the earth. And then from here, bring your hands to your hips and begin to lift yourself up so that you're standing in this wide stance. From here, you'll probably have to do a big hop, but you're going to step that right foot to meet your left at the back of the mat. You will inhale your arms up to the sky for high mountain. Bring your hands together, and then exhale, leaning over to your right. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, leaning over to your left. Inhale, coming back to center. From here, you're going to step yourself out into a star. So basically come back into that wide stance, but your arms will be at a T. So similar to what you will see in your warrior two. From here, we're going to move into goddess. So with goddess, we're going to sit down into a very wide legged squat, but you want to bring your heels in, your toes out. So make that adjustment. And then basically sit into your goddess. You can bring your arms into cactus if you would like. You can keep them out. You can bring them into hands at heart center or rest them on your knees. Most important thing is that your knees are tracking over your ankle. Your knees are being pushed back. You don't want them to collapse in. You want your energy to move back. You want your spine to be tall and straight. You want to sink down as low as you possibly can in your goddess. From here, shoot yourself back up into that star with those arms out to a T. Face the top of your mat, moving that back foot into a 45-degree angle, toes angled at 45 degrees to the top left corner of your mat. And sit yourself into warrior two. So that means that you bend in that front leg, 90-degree angle or less. Flip that front palm, move it up and back into reverse warrior. Bring that back hand fall somewhere on your back leg. Straighten that front leg. Come back through your warrior two upper body, shifting yourself forward to allow that right hand to fall to either the earth, a block, your ankle, and lifting that left arm up to the sky directly over your shoulder for a triangle. Your gaze will be out, or your gaze can move up to your hand for a balance challenge. From here, bring that lifted hand down and that right hand to frame your front leg. But you're going to keep that front leg straight with the micro bend, and you're going to lift up onto the tiptoes of that back foot to come into extended pyramid. From here, you're going to bend in that front leg, coming into a low runner's lunge. Plant the left palm into the mat, twist open to the right. Bring the right hand down, drop the back knee, untuck the back toe, lift up into your low crescent lunge. Exhale the hands down to the mat, tuck in the back toe, lift the back knee, coming back into that low runner's lunge. Begin to straighten in that front leg. Again, maintaining some form of bend, at least a micro bend in that front leg for your extended pyramid. In your extended pyramid, your torso is moving towards your thighs, your neck is long, your head is released. If you need assistance, blocks are always there to bring the mat up to you. Drop that back heel on to the mat, anchoring it down into your 45-degree angle with those toes so that you can plant that right hand either on the mat, a block, or your ankle, and lift that left arm up to the sky for your triangle pose. Bend in that front knee, lifting yourself up, moving into reverse warrior. So that left or right arm is lifted up to the sky. The left arm is resting on the left leg. Come back into warrior two. Shift over into star. So you're facing the left side of the room. And then bring those heels in, sitting down into your goddess. Shoot yourself back up to star. Windmill those arms to the front of the mat, coming back into your low runner's lunge. Step that front foot to meet the back in high plank or drop down the tabletop and move through vinyasa or not. And we all will meet in downward facing dog. To do that standing sequence one more time on the other leg. So return to your breath. Tap into your inhale and your exhale. And we're going to go through that flow one more time. So bend in the knees, bring the gaze forward, hop, step, or float to the top of the mat, or forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat, step your right foot back, coming into low runner's lunge. And I am going to turn the opposite way. So I'm still facing y'all. So from here, you are going to begin to walk yourself over to the wide edge of your mat so that you are in your wide-legged forward fold. And from here, in your wide-legged forward fold, you're going to clamp your right hand down in front of your face so that you can inhale your left arm up to the sky for a twist to the left. Exhale that left hand down, exchange it for the right, and inhale that right arm up to the sky for a twist to the right. Exhale that right hand down to the mat. Bring your hands to your waist and begin to slowly rise up into a standing position in this wide-legged position. From here, you're going to step your left foot to meet your right. You're going to inhale your arms up to the sky for a mountain. Bring your hands together to meet. And then you will exhale over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to center. Step that left foot out, coming into a star with your arms out to a T. Shift those heels in, toes out, and drop into your goddess. From here, come back into your T. Adjust your feet as you need to. So that means that you're going to, that right foot will be angled at a 45-degree angle. And then you will come into your warrior two. I'm going to turn again. So from here, flip your front palm, bring your left arm up and back so that your right hand rests on the back of your right leg. Straighten that front leg, come through warrior two, coming into your triangle. So again, with your triangle, that bottom hand is going to rest on your ankle, the mat, or your shin, or a block. Top arm is extended up to the sky, directly over your shoulder. Drop those hands to frame the front foot. Lift up onto those back toes, coming into your extended pyramid, folding over that front leg. releasing that neck and that head, having at least a micro bend in that front leg. From here, bend into that front leg, coming into a 90-degree angle into your low runner's lunge. Plant that right hand into the mat and twist open to the left. Release that left hand down, drop that back knee, untuck those back toes, lift yourself up into low crescent lunge. Drop those hands to the mat, tucking your back toes, lift up in that back knee, back into your low runner's lunge, and begin to straighten in that front leg, coming back into that extended pyramid. Bringing that torso to that front thigh, releasing your head and your neck down. From here, anchor that heel into the mat, toes angled at 45 degrees to move back into your triangle. Bend in that front leg, coming through your warrior two, moving back into your reverse warrior. Come into warrior two. Then move into star. Bring those heels in, dropping into your goddess. Move back into star. Cartwheel those hands to frame the front foot in a low runner's lunge. And from here, step that foot back to meet the other in a high plank. You can drop into tabletop. And if you would like, you can do your last Vinyasa flow of our practice. And we all will meet in downward facing dog. So from here, drop to your knees, bring your big toes together, and shift your hips back, coming down into child's pose. So take this moment in child's pose to connect with your breath, moving into your inhale and your exhale, allowing your exhales to lengthen, to become even or even longer than your inhale, to allow you to slow your pace, to allow you to move into calm, move into stillness, move into being the mountain. So from here, come into your tabletop, tuck in your toes, and push back into your downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to move into pigeon. If you prefer to do something different than pigeon, another option is deer, where your hips will not, your leg will not be extended. It will be, both legs will be bent 90-degree angles. Or the other option is for you to move to your back now and go into a figure four stretch. So I will cue that once we get into our pigeon, but if you don't want to do pigeon, go to your back now. So if you are moving to pigeon or deer, inhale that right leg up to the sky for a three-legged dog. And exhale, moving that right knee to your right tricep, and then dropping it down behind that right wrist. begin to shift back so that you are coming down onto your hips in your pigeon pose. Now that front leg is bent. Your shin can be parallel to the top of the mat, or it doesn't have to be. You see, mine is not. Most important thing is that that foot is flexed. If your leg is extended out long, you want to look back and make sure it's directly behind you and not shooting off to one side or the other. Now, if you are on your back for figure four, you're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Interlace your hands either behind your left thigh or on your left shin, and lift that left leg into your body. So pull it into your body for a stretch. Now, if you are sitting tall in your pigeon, you can drop down to your forearms or bring your head to rest on the mat. If you would like to move to deer, just come over onto that left side, bring that front leg where it's a 90-degree angle, so your shin should be parallel to the top of the mat. The back leg will be a 90-degree angle with that shin on the left edge of your mat. And from here, you can fold over. So those are all your various options. Move into whatever position is calming your name. And we will hold here to experience that stretch in our right hamstring. If you need support because that right hip is lifted off of the mat, there's a gap there, you can always place a folded towel, blanket, or block underneath that. Always remember that you can bring a block or a bolster underneath your head as well to bring the mat up to you. From here, if you are on your forearms or resting your forehead on the mat, come back up to your palms. If you are in deer, move into a position where you're back up on your palms. If you are on your back, just release your feet down to the mat where your soles are planted on the mat, your knees are up to the sky. And we are all going to, well, not all, but those who are sitting up on their mat will tuck in their back toe and shift, lifting that heel, that right leg up to the sky for three-legged dog, and then drop that right foot down for downward facing dog. We will do the same on the other side. So inhale your left leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that left knee to left tricep, then dropping it down behind your left wrist. Moving into either pigeon or deer. If you are on your back, you will cross your left ankle over your right thigh, interlace your hands behind your right thigh or on top of your right shin, and lift that right leg up and into your body for that stretch. If you are in pigeon or deer, you can stay up on your palms. If that feels good, you can lower your forearms if you would like, or you can bring your forehead to rest on the mat or the tops of your hands. You will sit here in either your pigeon, deer, or figure four stretch for a few breaths. Again, if you are in pigeon and there is a gap between your left hip and the mat and you want support, utilize a towel, block, or blanket. And place it underneath that hip for additional support. Come back up to your palms. If you are lowered down, release. If you are in figure four, bringing those soles of your feet to the mat, knees up to the sky. Tucking your back toes if you're in pigeon or deer. And then lift that left leg up to the sky for a three-legged dog. And then drop it down into downward facing dog. Come down onto your knees. And then come into an easy seat. So if you're on your back, stay there. For those who are in an easy seat, bring your soles of your feet to rest on the mat, knees up to the sky. Extend your arms out in front of you, and let's slowly lower ourselves down to the mat. From here, we will all extend our legs out long. And you can bring the palms of your hand to rest behind your neck, like you are going to do a sit-up or a crunch. So interlace your fingers behind your neck. Your elbows are out wide to provide support. And from here, we are going to move into some flutter kicks and scissors. So if you would like, you can keep your head rested on the mat, or if you're feeling frisky, you can lift your head and your upper body off of the mat while you're doing your flutter kicks. So remember, flutter kicks, we are just kicking up and down with our legs, keeping them off of the mat. So we are going to do that. So let's start. So everyone lift up and let's flutter. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. All right, one more round, but not flutter. This time we're going to scissor our feet back and forth. So back and forth like this. Again, your head can remain on the mat, or you can lift yourself up. So move into your position and let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Bring your arms out, extending them long over your head, and basically give yourself a good morning stretch. Pointing through those toes, lengthening through your body, really stretching yourself out long. From here, I'm going to have you move the top part of your body over to the right back edge of your mat. So you are going to be a half banana from your torso, or from your waist up, moving to the right side of your mat. So you can have, again, on this one, you can have one hand stacked on top of the other. And then with the lower part of your body, you're going to meet the top part of your body. So you're going to bring your right leg over to the right top corner of your mat. And you're going to cross your left ankle over your right ankle. So you are now a full banana. This is called crescent twist, supine crescent twist. So again, it provides our body with a stretch on that left side body, really extending out long. In this crescent twist, or you want to make sure that that left shoulder is still released down to the mat and it's not lifted. From here, move back into center, and then bring the top half of your body, that left arm, over to the left back corner of your mat. Drop the right hand on top of the left hand, and then move that left foot over to the left top corner of your mat. Cross that right ankle over that left foot or that left ankle so that you move into the stretch to the other side. Feeling that stretch in your right side body this time. Making sure that that right shoulder is released down to the mat. Come back into center. And from here, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good old hug. Thanking yourself for this practice. Thanking yourself for allowing the time to become one, to align in mind, body, and spirit on the mat. Thank yourself for being the mountain, maintaining strength, grace, and dignity each day. And from here, release your arms out to a T. And you are going to scoot your hips over to the left. So just lift up and scoot your hips over to the left. And then drop your knees over to the right. You can stay here with your gaze up to the sky, or you can bring your gaze over to the left. You can keep your eyes open, or if you would like, you can close them. Come back through center. And this time, scoot your hips, lifting them up and over to the right. And then drop your left knees, or your knees over to the left. Gaze can remain up to the sky, or you can drop it over to the right. Eyes can be open, or if you're comfortable, you can close them. Come back up through center. Release your feet down to the mat. And I would invite you to move into whatever posture is calling your name before we move into our final resting pose, which is Shavasana. So if you would like to move into a waterfall position, happy baby, maybe a shoulder stand, or maybe you just want to move on into Shavasana. Do whatever is calling your name. We will hold here for a few breaths before we go into Shavasana. If you would like to move to waterfall with me, just extend your feet up to the sky like you were standing on the ceiling. Bend in those knees slightly, having a micro bend to release that lower back down to the mat. If it feels good, get yourself a block and place it under your pelvis. Let's hold here for a few more breaths before we move into Shavasana. So when you are ready, I might invite you to move into your final resting position. You determine what that is whatever is going to allow you to move into a state of calm and peace, of rest, a place where you can incorporate in everything that you have cultivated, what you have learned, what you have created on the mat in this moment. Incorporate into your being so that you can bring it from this mat into your daily experience. So if you would like to lie on the floor with your legs out wide, your arms beside you, do that now. Want to place a pillow underneath your head for additional support, do that now. You want to sit in a chair or sit with your back against the wall, do that now. Do what is ever calling your name. Most important thing is that you relax and you release into this pose. You let it all go and you just be here, be present, be in the moment, be the mountain. And when it's time to be reawakened, I will guide you out. So if you would like to remain in Shavasana, know it's here and you do what you want, so you stay right where you are. But if you are ready to awaken to the Saturday morning, then begin to move your body slowly, easily, and effortlessly. Wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, circle those wrists, circle those ankles, nod your head back and forth. Find movement in your body that brings it to the present moment, brings it back to the right here and right now. When you are ready, roll over to your favorite side into a fetal position, cradling your head with your bottom arm, planting the top hand into Mother Earth, allowing her to provide you with support. From here, push yourself up into a seated position and bring your hands to where it feels good. They may rest on your knees, or you may bring them to heart center with your thumbs resting on your sternum. So, like the mountain, you will experience the changing nature of your mind and body and of the world around you. You will have periods varying in intensity, of darkness and light, of activity and inactivity, and moments that fill your life with color. Through it all, be the mountain and calm its patient strength and stability within you. Let it empower you to encounter each moment with mindful composure and compassionate clarity. Now take what you have cultivated, take what you have learned off of the mat and out into the world. Shine your light, be the mountain, be majestic, stable, strong, unwavering, serene, calm, and still. Be the mountain. So I thank you for allowing me to guide you in today's practice. The divine in me recognizes, honors, and celebrates the divine in you. Be the mountain. Closes with a shay, and so it is. Thank you. Hmm. So, are there any questions? Anything that came up, or any postures that you all want to explore in more detail?
I have a question.
Yes, Miss Michaela.
So in waterfall, like I know
Yes.
you have like your legs up to the ceiling, but like
Mhm.
what are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do with your legs up to the ceiling?
Yeah, is that you just have your legs up to the ceiling?
Mhm. That's really it. So you just have your legs up to the ceiling. Your hands can be beside you, or you can have them rest on your chest, hand one in heart center and one in your stomach, wherever. But it's just waterfall. So the main thing is that it's a good posture for when you've had a day of standing, and when you're standing, your feet are swollen, your ankles are swollen. So it's a great posture just to let it all just come back to center, to rest those legs, to rest those ankles, to move that fluid down your body. It's just a good restorative pose. So it's just like you would sit. It's not necessarily shavasana or a pose where you're resting that way, but it's a good pose just to rest and to sit in, to just restore yourself, um, and just bring yourself back to neutral. So the most important thing I would tell you, Michaela, is that you want your lower back or your sternum to be resting either on the block or the mat. So you don't want your lower back lifted off of the mat.
Okay.
Okay. But you probably won't feel much. And that's okay. The work is all happening internally. Good question, Sheila. All right. Well, if not anything else, I thank you all for joining me this Saturday morning. Go out and spread your light, be the mountain, and I will see you all soon. Take care.
Thank you.
And, oh, one more thing.
Yes.
Oh, good. We do have self-care Sunday tomorrow. So we have our first self-care Sunday from 2 to 4 Central Standard Time. And so we actually are going to our theme is let go to let in. So we'll be doing a release ritual. We'll be doing visioning. We'll talk about setting intentions and creating a vision statement for yourself and vision boards. So I would very much invite you all to attend that. We have a Facebook page, BeFor Collective, so all the information about tomorrow's session is on our events tab.
Okay.
And did you have a question?
No, I was saying thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Same.
All right.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.